Hello, my name is Dan Skipbound, and this is my review of Wind River. Now, Wind River is the third film written by Taylor Sheridan. This time out, he directs this film. It stars Jeremy Renner as Corey Lambert and Elizabeth Olson as Jane Banner. Now, this is a film set in Wyoming, and it's basically about this tracker who comes across this dead body while he's tracking a family, trying to kind of track down a lion, a mountain lion. He ends up finding this dead body of this little Indian girl in the brush while he was looking for this mountain lion. And so the story begins with basically he's a tracker and he's a hunter. So this is his kind of thing. He's a fishing game warden in this area of Wyoming, and he ends up going on this Indian reservation called Wind River, and this is where they find the dead body of this 18-year-old Indian girl. So they have to call in the FBI. Now, Graham Greene is the sheriff, but he hasn't, I guess he doesn't have any jurisdiction over this because it's a murder and whatnot. So they have to call in the FBI. And so they call in Jane, the FBI, and Jane Banner shows up. She's out of her element, and she's played by Elizabeth Olson. She doesn't even have winter clothes. She has to borrow winter clothes from the family of the missing girl. Now, they are trying to figure out what's going on with this girl because of the weather and whatnot, and they come to find out that she ended up running in her bare feet 6 miles, and so she ended up with frostbite on her hands and her feet. She ended up dying basically because her lungs froze. But we know that there was a murder here, and they can't figure out what's going on. So they have to start investigating some neighbor kids, some Indian kids that are kind of tweakers and drug dealers and stuff like that. And so that leads them to this oil drilling rig area where we come across this security force, and one of the security force people are John Bernthal. So we have a scene where it goes back in time to where the 18-year-old girl is going to his mobile home, and they're having sex and so forth. And so we get to see a little bit of the John Bernthal character and what he's about and what is going on. So this it goes back in the past, and we find out some of the mysteries without having to discover them ourselves with our FBI agent Jane and our fish and game warden guy played by Jeremy Renner. They're discovering little things on their own, but we the people that are sitting in the audience, we get to see it because they put it on screen. Taylor Sheridan actually shares this information about what happens to this girl and this her boyfriend played by John Bernthal. So then it fast forwards back in time, and they're discovering things about a rape in a rape kit and so forth like that. They have to do all kinds of forensics, and the forensics take a long time to come in. But they're guessing that they think that this girl was raped. And obviously there's a blunt force trauma on her head. So there's a lot of things going on with this girl. And then Corey's also dealing with the disappearance of his own daughter, Emily, years before. So, and these two girls were actually friends. And so Corey's friends with the father. And that's the thing that's going on here. We have a lot of these characters that they've known each other for years, and they've had some tragedy. And this cold wilderness, this cold, forbidding landscape that they're working in is part of what's kind of like dragging this story down a little bit as far as the getting around, you have to use snow sleds to get around and get everywhere and whatnot. And like they say in the film, you know, to go 5 miles, you're going to go 50 miles, you know, and that's kind of what they're dealing with here. And so eventually they come across the dead body of John Bernthal as well. So now we're dealing with the dead body of the girl, and then we're also dealing with the dead body of her boyfriend, played by John Bernthal. So we know that he wasn't the one that killed her, even though some people were like, well, he's kind of old to be dating an 18-year-old girl. We come to find out it wasn't his fault. He didn't do it. But this story really deals with the characters, and if you believe the Corey Lambert character, and if you believe the Jane Banner character and what they're going through and how they're going about trying to discover what's going on in this murder, then you believe this story and you believe the characters. And that's what Taylor Sheridan's really good at. He puts you in the world of these characters, and he makes you believe what these characters are going through in the world that they live in. And there's a lot of violence in this film. There's a lot of bloodshed in this film. But I really felt that the two main characters were believable, even though Elizabeth Olson's character of Jane Banner was kind of out of her element at the beginning of it. She was having a friend. She asked Corey Lambert, hey, can you help me out? This is your land. This is where you work. This is what you do. You track, you hunt. Could you help me out? And she kind of worked with her on this, and they were able to come to a discovery about what happened in the film. But I'm not going to give away the ending of the film just when I'm doing this review. Taylor Sheridan, they call this his, I don't know what his like wilderness trilogy, or his Western trilogy, you know, with Sicario and Hell or High Water and Wind River. So this is the culmination of his Western trilogy. Obviously, Sicario set in Arizona, and Hell or High Water set in this area as well, Wyoming, this Idaho, this kind of area, but it was set in more of a summer area of the country. Maybe it was New Mexico, or no, I know what it was. It was Texas. Hell or High Water was set in Texas, and this is set in Wyoming. So we got Arizona, we got Texas, and we got Wyoming. And I love the thing is, the cinematography of these films is beautiful. I mean, I felt cold just watching this movie, just because of the coldness of the movie. I'm not a big fan of cold weather. I live in Florida, so that, you know, that tells you a lot about me. But I think this is one of the best movies of the year. Taylor Sheridan has really done a great job writing this trilogy of Western films, these modern day Westerns that he does. And this time he directed, I remember him saying something like, why do I have to be the first one I direct? I have to go out in the freezing cold of Wyoming, you know? And this premiered at the Sundance Film Festival, so we're getting a chance to see it now, and it's going wide. And I implore everybody to get to see this film. I really enjoyed it. The scenery, the acting, the story, the gritty violence of the story as well. It's surprising violence, you know. So if you're used to Taylor Sheridan's movies like Hell or High Water or Sicario, you know this is coming. So this is a big see it for me for Hell or High Water. I meant Wind River. So my name is Dan Scapal, and you can find me on the Best Damn Movie Show YouTube channel. I do a show called the Top 5 Weekly every week, and we're doing a special series of classics. This month we just did Alfred Hitchcock. This week we're doing Humphrey Bogart. And we also do another series called the 52 Must-See Movies and Why They Matter with my other friends, my panelists that I frequently collaborate with, Andrew and Steven. So if you want to see more content from me, you can go to the Best Damn Movie Show channel on YouTube. Thank you very much. Good night.